Hello, my name is Chris, and I made a machine that will make people travel into any type of movies. I mainly invented it only because one day, when I was eating lunch in high school, I had a thought of it would be cool to invent a machine to travel to different types of movies. But however, the machine backfires when I end up traveling to one of my favorite movies from the 70s. So just as I wanted to relive the 70s because great movies, musics, books, and even the year is now 1985, I am 20 and the very first movie was Grease, and when I got there, the town was destroyed as if there were riots. And it turns out that I saw a newspaper that said Danny Zucchio, played by John Travolta, and Sandy Olsen, played by Olivia Newton-John, were murdered for no reason at all. That must have been what started the riots, I thought to myself as I took a look around the destroyed town. When I saw riots from the distance, I decided not to go there because I would be killed by the rioters. Then I saw something weird, as if it was in the portal, so I stepped in the portal. So it took me another movie, and it looked like a vandalized version of Metropolis from Superman starring Christopher Reeves. So I walked it through, and it would look like Lex Luthor had killed Superman and his guards had overrun the whole city. Then the guards surrounded me and make me wait for Lex Luthor to see me. Well, it looks like someone stumbled upon my base. Well, there's no escape now, Luthor Lax said, very sinisterly. Well, I gotta find a way to escape, I whispered to myself. In fear, I then found a portal right in front of me and stepped on the guard's foot, making an escape towards the portal. Once I left the Superman, I traveled what looks like a movie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but as if it was the Great Depression in the town. When I was walking, I found a sign that had Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory saying, "Do not enter, this is a restricted area." I found this horrifying as if Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory was out of business and was going to get teared down. This must be why the town has a deep depression, as if Willy Wonka's chocolate meant something to them. Then I saw the weird portal again. Would that lead me to the next movie? The next movie was Monty Python and the Holy Grail, but it was none like the three other movies I traveled to. It was disturbing, but for Monty Python and the Holy Grail, it looked like a medieval Neverrealm, something you would usually find in the Lord of the Rings novel series by J.R.R. Tolkien. But I found the French taunter from the movie to be yelled at me with his guards. Luckily, I didn't get caught as I found another portal and stepped through it. The next one was Rocky, and I could tell that Rocky was I was in a boxing ring. But, however, I found Rocky Balboa, played by Sylvester Stallone, dead on the floor, as if an accident in the boxing match happened. I found another portal and stepped through leading to the next movie, and it had me on a boat in the middle of the ocean. And I only had one theory from the movie. I was now in Jaws. I was exploring on the boat until I found a shark coming at the boat, ready to attack. I fell in the portal where my legs took me led to a next movie, which I believe that be the last movie I traveled through to see Star Wars: A New Hope. I was in a spaceship from the movie called Millennium Falcon. I found Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, and Obi-Wan Kenobi dead on the C-3PO, and R2-D2 was off, and if they had malfunctioned and died. Then Darth Vader came on the ship and wanting to kill me, but luckily I was able to get back home from those nightmares. As it turns out from the cameras I made to see you or anyone else doing the movie day traveled, my dad found a way to fix the malfunction and save me from the mess that I was in. He told me that the malfunctions weren't really fixed for good and don't use it anymore. So I left the machine in the basement where it will be hard to get. Yes, while the year is 1985 and my son was born in 1977, I just hope that when he gets older that he doesn't come across his invention I had made years ago. And that, my little pretties, Are the Movies from the 70s Disturbing? A creepypasta written by Mario and Sonic Fan 1000. Mario and Sonic Fan 1000, I would like to thank you so much for the story. Thank you so much for writing this, and I do appreciate you sending this to me. This was obviously a really amazing time for me to get to it. Now, with that being said, what do I think about the story? Well, to be honest, I actually found this to be rather made and well made. Now, I did say that the movies from like the 90s or 80s, I believe, were disturbing. I think that was the one, but correct me if I'm wrong. But I do remember reading one of those, and this movie with, well, this pasta was actually really good. Like, I could definitely say that the grammar itself was really well done, although there were a few run on sentences that, needs to be fixed up. Like, I know there were a few parts that should have had the proper punctuation marks, but other than that, the story was actually really well done. Now, the grammar of this story was not a problem. I actually was able to read it without having any difficulty in it, but I could definitely say the paragraph structure was pretty good as well. Now, I could definitely say all of this is very believable, and I have seen some of these movies from the 70s, Jaws actually being one of the scariest ones. I'm sure most of us have seen Jaws, but if you guys haven't seen Jaws, then I highly recommend you check it out, as Jaws is a very disturbing movie, but it's actually a pretty nice movie to come to think of it. I actually found, some movies from the 70s to be good. I think my favorite one would have to be the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory one, the Gene Wilder one. Now, I could definitely say that this is actually very believable, what's going on with the person's head. Even though a time machine probably doesn't exist, but I could definitely say this is actually being the case, and I could see that actually being true. This is possible, but you know what? I actually really found this movie to be just as swell and amazing. Now, the grammar was really good, like I said before. The whole thing of how the whole of how the plot went out and the concept of the story. Basically, how it went out was just absolutely amazing and really well done. I do have to say, this movie was actually pretty cool, and I have to say, it's actually really interesting to come to think of it. So, I do have to say, I really remember seeing this movie a long time ago, and I do have to say that it's a really well made movie, which, well, a lot of movies there from the 70s are good, but most movies nowadays, even though some of them I could definitely say that have time and effort are good, some of them are just not as good as they were back then, or they're just not good in general. I don't understand why that's the case, but that's just probably just me, to be completely honest. And I could definitely say right now that this story was actually pretty well done. Now, I could definitely say there was a lot of great concept to this. Like, I could definitely see this being the case. But although, with all due sincerity, this story was absolutely amazing and well done. Like, I definitely have to say, this story was actually really good. So, I could definitely say right now that, this movie was actually pretty something and really well made. Now, I could definitely say that, well, yeah, some of these movies were disturbing back then, and even now they make movies still, disturbing nowadays. But not as good as they were, but at the same time, some of them do put time and effort into it. So that's, oh, excuse me, sorry about that, but that's really possible that I could definitely say. I have seen some shows in the 70s too, and most of them are pretty good. One of them being Scooby Doo. Well, that's another story for another day. Getting back with the story. If I have to say one thing negative about it, it would have to be the punctuation marks. Like, there were a few times that there were run on sentences, and they were at least a few parts that didn't have the proper punctuation marks in it. Like, the story was a bit difficult to read at certain parts, just a bit difficult to read, taking the fact that, there was the lack of proper punctuation marks. So, the grammar was good most of the most part, and the sentence structure was decent. But I would suggest maybe the author could fix up the sentence structuring just a little bit, probably put, proper punctuation marks. Like, there are a couple spots that should have had, a well, I could definitely say should have had, a comma at certain parts. But there's parts that have periods that should have been commas, or commas that should have been periods, or they were just all over the place. So that kind of makes the story a little difficult to read. But other than that, the story was actually really well done and flows out well. Now, I'm gonna have to watch one of these movies from the 70s. I haven't seen them in years. Well, I just watched the Jaws movie just recently, I think a few months ago, and I have to say, I remember watching Jaws a lot when I was younger, and I really liked it. Even though it came from the 70s, but this story was actually pretty amazing and well done. Now, if you guys find some of these movies to be rather good or disturbing, comment down below. I would like to hear what your opinions are on it. So, I'm gonna say right now that this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be a 9 out of 10. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 mainly because there were a couple of punctuation errors throughout the story, and there were places that should have had, commas or periods that shouldn't have been periods or they weren't there. So that's kind of one of the reasons why it's getting a 9 out of 10. But other than that, the story was actually really well done and really well made. There was definitely a lot of time and effort into the story, so that's a very good positive that I can definitely say about this story. But anyways, what did you all think about this story? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better. Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you're brand new here to this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out of here. And I will be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out, and I'll catch you all in the next video.